Well, hello, wonderful people of the internet. I'm so happy to see you. Even you, Susan. Susan's like the corporate Felicia. She's always all up in your business. She always has something to say, but then acts shocked when you clap back. Like, you know, Susan. Everyone has their own Susan. So if you happen to be Susan, I'm still happy to see you. Although I could talk about that for several more minutes, that's not the point of this video. I'm probably rambling because I'm wildly unprepared to talk about today's topic, but that's fine. Let's just start off by saying, hi everyone. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Andrea and I make mommy vlogs and sometimes I talk about stuff that I'm going through. Today's topic will be how life has been now that I am back at work. Now, before we even get started, I'm gonna need you to make sure you're subscribed to my channel and that you have post notifications on, okay? Because now that I am back in the swing of things, I will be posting every single week. But you know, it might be Monday, it might be Wednesday. I really don't know. And I can't give you that commitment at this point in time. So I'm gonna need you to just turn the post notifications on. So whenever I do upload, you'll be the first to know. So if you've been following my journey since day one, you may have noticed that I bounced on y'all for about a month or so. And that was because I had been transitioning from being on maternity leave back to work. I was slacking. Like, I don't really know what else to say. I was slacking. I was going through a lot. So let's just start from the beginning. I was at work the day that I went into labor. I was not at work when I went into labor, but that was my last day in the office. August 29th, I went into labor that night. So from August 29th all the way until January 2nd, I was on maternity leave. If I recall, that's about 18 weeks, okay? 18 weeks of just me and Michael chilling, doing our thing, figuring out how to be a mom, figuring out how to balance everything. Uh-oh. We have a visitor. As I was saying, I was just figuring out how to be a mom at that point, and I didn't have to worry about anything else. I did not log on to my emails. I wasn't really checking my calendar. I was just really logged off, unplugged, completely detached from my work life for 18 weeks. As you can remember from some of my later vlogs, I started to get really anxious about the idea of going back to work. I wasn't sure how I was gonna navigate the transition because it was so hard for me to be a full-time mom with nothing else going on. So I couldn't really wrap my mind around how I was going to go back to work and be a good employee and be a good mother all at the same time, not to mention being a good wife and not to mention being good to myself. So there was just a lot of different moving parts and I just wasn't sure how I was gonna juggle all of them. On January 2nd was my first day back to work. It actually went really, really smoothly. It was right after the holidays, so there wasn't a lot of people in the office still. It was just very chill. I didn't have as many emails as I thought. I had like 682, which for 18 weeks, that's not bad because people just started taking me off of the emails, but it was pretty good. The biggest transition for me was pumping at work. And that still is like very difficult for me to balance because we do have a mothering room. The mothering room is on my floor. When you're like in the middle of a meeting or you're in the middle of a project and to have to stop everything that you're doing, pack up all your supplies, go sit down in the mothering room where you really just can't do anything at all, pump for 15, 20, 25 minutes, you know, get that all prepped, put that in the fridge, clean up, and then go back to work. Like that process is like a job within itself. Like when my alarm goes off that I have to go pump, I'm like, dang, I just got started on something. And there's been a lot of times where I get distracted and I don't even realize that my alarm went off. And then next thing you know, I realized that I skipped a pumping and I'm sharing this mothering room with all the other breastfeeding moms in my building, which apparently is a lot. So I'm like navigating like, okay, I have literally a 10-minute window to go in here and pump and get everything done before I have to jet off to the next thing. That has been the hugest? Not a word. That has been the biggest transition for me by far, is the breastfeeding and pumping at work. I've been in a situation where my milk has been reducing slowly. I've been pumping at home after every feeding to get that production back up, but it has been really tough. And there's nothing that I can really do about it, but be really, really cognizant of my time and just making sure that when that alarm goes off that I'm right there in the mothering room doing what I have to do. In terms of balancing time with Michael at home, that has also been really tough on me because I have guilt. I have mommy's guilt really, really badly. So when I go to work in the morning, I feel really, really sad. I feel like I don't want to say abandonment, like, because that's so strong, but that's like really what I feel like. I feel like I'm abandoning Michael, and it's been a lot easier for me because Abubakar is on leave right now. So I know that he's with my husband. So like if I want to FaceTime, if I want a picture, if I want a phone call, there's no problem. I can just, you know, I always have a connection to Michael. But in a week and a half, Michael's going to daycare. And I think it's like a harsh reality that we're kind of like avoiding. We're not really thinking about it that much. But that's going to be a huge transition for all three of us. Abubakar is going to be back at work after being off for 8 weeks. That's a transition. I'm going to be bringing Michael to daycare with people that I virtually don't know. And Michael is going to be with people he's never seen before for 8 hours a day, every day. It's a lot. It's a lot. I'm already like getting that little thing in my throat when I talk about it. But at the end of the day, just like when I transitioned going into work, it's going to be a lot. I'm gonna have to adapt. Excuse my neighbors, they're just like so disrespectful. I'm gonna have to adapt. It's all gonna be fine. And I think that that's one of the things that you just learn in this transition, is that everything is gonna be okay. It seems crazy, it seems dramatic. You seem like your whole world is spinning for a short period of time, and then all of a sudden it just seems like this is the way it always was. I know that's hard to believe, but like literally after maybe a week and a half of being at work, I felt like I had never left. Everyone at work felt like I had never left. It just seems like things just fall back into place, and you just have to give yourself a break. The mistake that I made was I constantly put pressure on myself to just hurry up and adapt. And I do consider myself to be quick to adapt to change. I'm just very resistant to the initial thought of change. So me thinking about change, I'm like, I don't want it, I don't want it, I don't want it. But once change comes, I'm like, okay, this is fine. So I think that that's one thing that as a working mom, you just have to be able to accept the change, and you have to give yourself a break. You're not abandoning your baby. I'm sure if you could stay at home, you would. If I could stay home, I would. It's really, really hard to be the best you in everything that you do all the time. That's really hard. You can't think of it at such a macro level. You have to think about every single thing you do, one little piece at a time, one moment, one step at a time. Do the best you can in that moment. So when I'm with Michael, I just really focus on being as good as a mom as I can be in that moment. Uh-oh. Hi, Jung. Come here, baby boy. Just in time for me to wrap up. Here's Michael right here. He just woke up from his nap. Say hi. You'll see in my vlog, something very special happened. Look who's talking. It's him. But yeah, the things that I would say about being a working mom, like just to wrap this video up because I feel like I rambled per usual. It's not easy. You have to juggle a lot, but you are a woman and that's what we do. We're multitaskers. Anything we have to do, we get it done. I know exactly what you're feeling. I know how overwhelming it can be, and it's tough. It really is tough. I'm not gonna say that, wow, it's easy, you jump right in. It's really tough. I've been back to work for over a month, almost 2 months now, and it's still tough. I don't foresee it ever being an easy situation, but it's a workable situation, and eventually, you know, as I said, you will adapt. You will adapt. There are gonna be days that are easier than others, and there's gonna be days where you're like, I can't do this anymore. But guess what? You're gonna wake up the next day, and you're gonna be able to do it. So just give yourself a break. Take it easy. Remember that you have a little munchkin that keeps you going. He is the motivation. He is why I do everything that I do. And just work hard. And remember that you're a boss, and it don't matter if you have a bad day. You're still a boss, okay? Ain't that right, Mikey? Ain't that right, Mikey? So on that note, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you stay tuned. Turn your post notifications on because I will be posting a vlog shortly, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.